serious recipe. You know, I like things kind of simple with the least amount of ingredients. I'm going to make them in the KitchenAid. And I didn't have any milk. I got 2 eggs. I'm just pitiful. So what I did was use some powdered milk. I used a third cup of powdered milk and a cup of water. I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 1 minute. It needs to be hot enough to activate the yeast. While that's heating up, I'm going to add 4 cups of flour. To the flour, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of sugar. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of yeast. Now this is the yeast I use. This Red Star, and I buy it, it's 2 of these packets, and I only open one at a time, and I pour it in another container, just like this. And so I cut the little label off and put the label on top of the jar so I know what it is. And I've almost used up this whole jar. See, that's how the yeast looks. And then I add the second one, but this double pack of yeast is like $5 or $6. So if you can go to Costco's or Sam's Club, if you know someone that has a membership, try to do that. And the flour is cheaper also. What I do is buy a 10-pound bag of sugar, and I've saved these containers. And just put the sugar in here. It holds 4 pounds now instead of 5 pounds. They've cut back on everything. So you got to find ways to make things go further. Okay, so I've added the yeast, the salt, the sugar, the flour, and now I'm going to get the milk. 1 cup of powdered milk. And last but not least, my 2 little pitiful eggs. But I'm thankful to have them. It worked out just fine. I got to make the pound cake for you all and these rolls. And my friends love these rolls. I'm just going to mix that up a little bit, get it started. And I'm going to pour it right in. Like I said, I don't like the waste, so I got to get all that egg out of there. Nothing. It's like when you waste, you ever go to fry some chicken, and you say, dang, if I hadn't wasted that flour, I have enough to really batter my chicken. It's when you run out, that's when you realize how important it is not to waste. Now see how this dough is coming together? Can you get down in there, Alicia? some, like, I'm going to cut it off and show you. In the bottom of this, it made a dough. But as you can see in the bottom, there's some extra flour. Can you guys see that? I'm going to put a little water in here to try to make up for that. Just a little warm water. A little bit. Well, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Now look at that. See what that did? See, now it's nothing down there. We're not wasting nothing.
Beautiful.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to take my eggs and put them in my bag for the compost bin. And I'll ask my grandson if he'll go put it in there. It's just simply one of those plastic crates. And I took it and drilled holes, little small holes in it, and put some topsoil, 2 little cups of worms. And so I put all leftover stuff like clippings from when I'm cooking onions, the garlic peels, all of that. And that's how I get my compost, all eggshells. That's how I get the compost for summer for the garden. Because it's real expensive to go buy all that stuff. Wiped off a little bit. And I'll move this over. And we want to have a nice, dry counter. And this is where I usually roll them out at. This space. If I cook for my friends, I like for them to know that it's clean. And they trust me. They know that I'm going to not serve anything if it's not clean. Okay. Now I'm going to roll out some dough that I already started. For time's sake. Now what happened with this is that from my cancer, the treatments give you something called neuropathy. And the neuropathy affects your hands and some people their feet and everything. So someone, Carl Reed gave Tylette this bread machine, and I've been using it just to make dough in, and it works just fine. But I don't have to knead it without the mixer. So I'm just going to take this flour, and dump these out. See how you can make dough with this? Same ingredients, just put them in here instead of in that mixer. Same thing. So if you know someone that have had the problem like me, encourage them to, to cook. It may take a little more time, a little more work, but it keeps your mind occupied and gives you a purpose. It's nice to have a purpose. Now I'm going to get the bench scraper and show you how I cut them. I meant to have this out already, but it got the brain fog. And you name it. See, that's what I'm saying. I should have had all this out. But anyway, it works out. See how that dough is? And I divide this in 4 pieces. As much as I can work with at a time. I'm out of breath. Okay. I'm putting some flour on my hands. Might as well just call me the Pillsbury dough girl, huh? As much as I deal with dough.